It's a beautiful time to be alive, and I say Eid Mubarak. Well, congratulations to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Successful completion of the fast is a big deal. So as you're celebrating, let's quickly remind you to observe the necessary health protocol to stay in full charge. Social distancing, use your face mask, and if you must sneeze or any of those things, remember, preserve your elbow or tissue, which you throw away immediately. Oh, well, it's not a health program, but you know the peculiarity of the times we are in, so we have to do that. This is Nimasa This Week. My name is Cordelia Ogbe. Now, the new administration at Nimasa, led by Dr. Bashir Jamal, the DG, has made it quite clear that one of the things they'll be really focusing on is the security of our waters. And a big deal is happening right now, and Nimasa has made a promise concerning some particular arrests the Navy made recently. The promise you get to find out shortly. And then we'll be talking about the GMDSS, that is the Global Maritime Distress Safety System. What is it all about? We'll share with you. Welcome to the show once again, and again I say Eid Mubarak.
The coronavirus pandemic is real. Nimasa wants us to stay safe so we can stay alive. Observe social distancing, avoid crowded areas, wash your hands regularly with soap or use alcohol-based hand sanitizers, and most importantly, stay at home. Together, we shall win the war against this coronavirus. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa.
It is said that the enemies of a man will just be the members of his household. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because recently some people, able-bodied young men, were arrested on Ivorian waters. What were they up to? Piracy. Who arrested them? The Nigerian Navy. And what next? They've been handed over for prosecution. Guess what? Nimasa is not taking it lightly, and they're saying that they will pursue this to a legal or a logical conclusion, all in line with the recent anti-piracy bill that was signed into law by the President of Nigeria, PMB, fondly called President Muhammadu Buhari. Now watch this and see that what I'm saying is something we should all worry about.
These young able-bodied men, 10 of them, and all Nigerian nationals, were caught by the Nigerian Navy after they attacked a Chinese vessel fishing legally in the Gulf of Guinea. Commander of Nigerian Navy ship NNS Beecroft, Commodore Ibrahim Shatima, who gave details of the naval operation, said the vessel had 18 crew members comprising Chinese, Ghanaians, and Ivorians.
On the 15th of May 2020, a Chinese vessel named MV Hailufang II was attacked by pirates off the coast of Cote d'Ivoire. The pirates took control of the vessel and directed the vessel towards the Nigerian waters. The Nigerian Navy was alerted of the pirate attack, and immediately the Nigerian Navy ship Unguru was dispatched to intercept the vessel. On interception of the vessel at about 140 nautical miles south of Lagos Ferry Buoy, the pirates refused to comply with the orders of the Nigerian Navy ship. Hence, the Nigerian Navy ship had to conduct an opposed boarding of the vessel. All the ship crew were safely rescued, while 10 pirates were arrested. It is pertinent to note that the last 4 known and documented pirates attacks were outside the Nigerian waters, of which the Nigerian Navy have responded in the interest of regional security. This aptly captured the Nigerian Navy total spectrum maritime strategy, which cover Nigerian utmost maritime area of interest, encompassing the entire West African waters and the Gulf of Guinea.
Commodore Shatima added that regional cooperation played a major role in the success of the operation.
This underscores the need for an increased regional cooperation in terms of information sharing and further deepening of our response capability. For instance, this rescue effort was bolstered by additional intel received by the Nigerian Navy during the operation. This also emphasizes the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ayi Ibrahim's commitment to ensure maritime security within Nigerian maritime space and the Gulf of Guinea. We also want to use this opportunity to strongly warn the criminal elements that engage in any act of maritime crime within the Gulf of Guinea to desist, as the Nigerian Navy has the capability and the willpower to deal with such perpetrators.
Consistent funding over the past 4 years has impacted positively on Nigeria's Navy surveillance and maritime domain awareness infrastructure. The Nigerian Navy has acquired offshore patrol vessels, fast attack craft, logistic vessels, hydrographic ship, and more than 300 inshore patrol craft, while concurrent efforts has been made to encourage operational training and indigenous shipbuilding capacity.
It is noteworthy that this is the first time in a very long time that pirates caught on Nigerian waters are being handed over for prosecution. The handover of these alleged pirates for prosecution under the Anti-Piracy Act regime is a major step in curbing piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. The Nimasa DG, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has restated Nimasa's commitment to collaboration among relevant agencies and stakeholders for the security of the country's maritime domain. Dr. Jamo, who was represented by the agency's head of legal services, Mr. Victor Egejuru, assured that with the anti-piracy law, there was ample legal framework to prosecute pirates and other perpetrators of maritime offenses in the country to bring the menace to the barest minimum.
There's a whole lot of collaboration going on between the Nigerian Navy and Nimasa on issues of suppression of unlawful acts at sea, which includes piracy. You know that presently we have a memorandum of understanding on collaboration and cooperation with the Nigerian Navy. So we work hand in hand with the Nigerian Navy to ensure that acts like this are checkmated. We want to use this opportunity to thank the Nigerian Navy for a job well done. We also want to use this opportunity to thank the National Assembly and Mr. President for the enactment of the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act, which is an act that has empowered the security agencies and the judiciary to be able to prosecute. This is the time to test the efficacy of this act. So they will be tried under this act by the law courts.
The prosecution of the pirates would be the first trial of bandits arrested in international waters under the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences (SPOMO) Act, signed into law in June last year by President Muhammadu Buhari. The law made Nigeria the first in West and Central Africa to have a distinct anti-piracy legislation.
This is a beautiful thing that has happened because the international community would want to know what we are doing to ensure that our waters, including that of Gulf of Guinea, are safe for maritime activities. So thank you very much. We also wish to thank the National Assembly and Mr. President for ensuring that this act is now in place, because it will help us a whole lot.
The Deep Blue Sea project, we have so far received about 9 past intervention vessels out of the 17. We have 2 interceptors. We are expecting 2 aircrafts. We are expecting 3 helicopters. So with this now, all we need to do is to develop the platforms that will make us police our own waterways effectively.
A key IMO initiative supporting ship decarbonization, the Global Industry Alliance (GIA), to support low-carbon shipping, will intensify its work on the ship-port interface to reduce emissions from ships. This is one of the outcomes of a GIA task force meeting which took place over video conference this week. During the meeting, participants agreed to continue work under the existing work streams, including alternative fuels and validating the performance of energy efficiency technologies. They also agreed to embark on an entirely new workstream aimed at creating a holistic approach to reducing emissions in the ship-port interface. This will support implementation by ports of regulatory, technical, operational, and economic actions to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions from ships, such as providing onshore power supply and safe and efficient bunkering of alternative low-carbon fuels. This new workstream will also identify additional measures that could be taken to reduce emissions in the ship-port interface. The group further discussed as to how it could support the financial recovery of the maritime sector to COVID-19. The GIA also considered in detail the aims and objectives of the IMO Norway Green Voyage 2050 project and discussed ideas for collaboration, in particular, how to catalyze demonstration and trailing solutions in the Green Voyage 2050 pilot countries. It was the first meeting of the GIA task force since it became part of the Green Voyage 2050, an IMO-executed project funded by Norway to initiate and promote global efforts to demonstrate and test technical solutions for reducing ship emissions. The project also aims to enhance knowledge and information sharing to support the IMO GHG reduction strategy. The GIA is an innovative public-private partnership initiative of IMO that brings together maritime industry leaders to support an energy-efficient and low-carbon maritime transport system. The GIA was set up as part of IMO's global maritime energy.
A global regulation that will substantially reduce harmful sulfur oxide (SOx) emissions from ships came into effect from 1st January 2020, bringing significant benefits for both human health and the environment. From 1st January 2020, the global upper limit on the sulfur content of ship's fuel oil is now reduced to 0.50% from 3.50%. Known as IMO 2020, the reduced limit is mandatory for all ships operating outside certain designated emission control areas, where the limit is already 0.10%. As a result, reductions are expected in stroke, asthma, lung cancer, cardiovascular, and pulmonary diseases. Cutting sulfur emissions from ships would also help prevent acid rain and ocean acidification, benefiting crops, forests, and aquatic species.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for our maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
You're watching Nimasa This Week. It's very obvious now that the Nigerian Navy has the wherewithal to tackle piracy and other forms of insecurities on our waters. And that is good. It's also a delight to know now that Nigeria is thoroughly set to fight piracy based on the fact that we now have the anti-piracy law. One particular instrument is also very important in this fight. I'm talking about the GMDSS. The GMDSS, spelled out, is a Global Maritime Distress Safety System. Now, what is it all about when it comes to securing the Gulf of Guinea? We'll be sharing with you the GMDSS from the perspective of Nimasa.
The Global Maritime Distress and Safety System, GMDSS, is an internationally agreed upon set of safety procedures, types of equipment, and communication protocols used to increase safety and make it easier to rescue distressed ships, boats, and aircraft. GMDSS consists of several systems, some of which are new, but many of which have been in operation for many years. The system is intended to alerting, including position determination of the vessel in distress, search and rescue, coordination, locating, maritime safety information broadcasts, general communications, and bridge-to-bridge communication.
Global Maritime Distress and Safety System is a technical and operational and administrative structure of maritime distress and safety communications worldwide. It manages distress situations and the dissemination of safety information to all ships. It came into being in 1988 when IMO members state adopted the basic requirements, and it formed part of the SOLAS. SOLAS is this Safety of Life at Sea Convention. So GMDSS forms part of SOLAS Chapter 4 on radio communication, and it was implemented globally between 1992 and 1997. In IMO world, the GMDSS is an integrated communication system which should ensure that ships in distress can be heard and cannot disappear without a trace, and that more lives can be saved at sea due to quick response from the shore establishment.
Nede, nede, nede. This is motor tanker Future Hope, Future Hope, Future Hope.
Nimasa has deployed satellite surveillance equipment to counter piracy in Nigerian waters. The agency is now in a position to respond to any distress call on Nigerian waters and beyond.
This is the Lagos MRCC, Maritime Rescue Coordination Center. It is as well called the Regional Maritime Rescue Coordination Center. This is where coordination of our search and rescue efforts takes place. The sea areas, as far as search and rescue is concerned, are divided into 4. We have the sea area A1, sea area A2, we have the A3 and A4. For a vessel to be able to communicate effectively within the sea area A1, she must at least have a VHF DAC radio, something similar to this on board. So with this, the vessel will be able to communicate distress alerts, urgency information, or safety information across the world, which will be picked by the MRCC. The radio requirements or communication requirements for vessels in sea area A1 to A4 is not limited to having other facilities that could help you to communicate when you are in distress. And so because of that, Nimasa is actively collaborating with the Nigerian Navy. And so we have a system called the Regional Maritime Awareness Capability System, HARMAC, that allows us to see vessels within the Gulf of Guinea. If anything is happening here, all these dots you are looking at in different colors, they represent ships. There's a way we can zoom in to know more about individual ships here that will give us detail about individual ships here. So whatever is happening here, we're able to know in real time. So this RMAC system itself, it is not a GMDSS requirement, but it is complementary to it in that it helps us to be able to identify what's going on quickly and effectively when we receive a distress call.
Pan, 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 pan. All stations, all stations, all stations. This is empty Future Hope, empty Future Hope, empty Future Hope. Man overboard in position. 03 degrees, 10 minutes north, 006 degrees, 15 minutes east. Ships in vicinity are asked to keep sharp lookout and report to empty Future Hope on VHF channel 16. Master empty Future Hope, over.
The upgrading of the agency's Global Maritime Distress Safety System, GMDSS, in Lagos, Bonny and Oron, and the radar installation in Takwa Bay in Lagos will complement the satellite and radio facilities at the Regional Maritime Rescue Coordination Center in Kirikiri, Lagos.
We first of all locate from the position given to us after receiving the distress. We first of all locate the position, the distress location. Then we now identify which asset is closer to the distress location. If it is our own asset that is closer to the distress location, then we calculate the time it will take to arrive at the scene. And in another form, we can as well use the RMAC to identify a moving vessel within the position of the distress. We pick the name of the ship, position, and everything. We now raise the ship on VHF to inform her to proceed and render assistance. Under Section 274 of the Merchant Shipping Act, obligations to assist vessels in distress, it is mandatory for all ships within Nigerian search and rescue region to render assistance to ships in distress. Otherwise, you can be prosecuted, fine, a maximum fine of about 500,000 or jail time or both. So it is in the interest of every shipmaster to proceed and render assistance to ships in distress or persons in distress within its vicinity.
The facility can equally be used to see beyond the territorial waters of Nigeria, identify ship positions in real time, which can greatly enhance search and rescue, plot search and rescue patterns, detect vessels that can switch off their automatic identification system AIS, as well as interrogate the satellite image for information.
When your vessel is in trouble, and probably if it sinks, don't swim too far from the vessel because help will come. Equipment like EPAP, if the vessel sinks, will naturally float free and then continually be sending messages that so vessel is in trouble at so location. So other vessels can now easily home into that position where the vessel sank.
This is an announcement from the Office of the Registrar of Ships. As we continue to hope for the best in these trying times, when the whole world is battling with COVID-19, we pledge to continue to play our roles even as we adhere to directives from constituted authorities. To minimize physical contacts, please consider the following alternative channels for your inquiries and follow-up action. Email registrarofships@nimasa.gov.ng. Telephone, WhatsApp 0702 513 7601, Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Now, let's take a look at maritime accidents. Yes, they do happen. Just last week, we had a fire incident offshore Ondo State when a barge, Mick Harry's JUV Belliton, operating around Grace 1 HWU rig, caught fire. Guarantee Petroleum Technical Partner in Rock Mountain Development Company operates the barge. The good news is all crew members were evacuated safely. But the not too good news, the pollution at the location which Nimasa is currently dealing with.
The coronavirus pandemic is real. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, wants you to stay safe. Observe social distancing by avoiding crowded areas. Cough or sneeze into a curved elbow or into a tissue, which should be disposed of immediately. Wash your hands regularly with soap or use hand sanitizers. And most importantly, stay at home and follow health and safety advice coming from the NCDC and the WHO. Together, we will win the war against the coronavirus. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. Nimasa, changing the tide in your favor.
Again, I say happy Mubarak, Eid Mubarak. Enjoy yourself. Remember social distancing. Remember to wash your hand. Remember to do this if you must sneeze or cough. Use tissue paper and throw it away when you're done. If you're not feeling too well, stay home. Get better. There'll be another celebration to join in. Take care of yourselves, my friends. My name is Cordelia Obe. Bye-bye.